Shalom. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. I was pushing this word in all sincerity and all truth throughout the four corners of the earth. The title of this lesson is the importance of the sun and its significance and meaning throughout the beginning of time. And it's an article, but I also had like a video, but I don't think I'm going to show it. I might put the link in the description box. Bill Gates will have to wait a while to block the sun. Scientists have postponed the billionaire-backed study of the controversial technology called solar geoengineering. And I'm going to read some of this. A controversial Bill Gates-backed sun-blocking experiment has been postponed for ethical reasons. Concerned groups want a clear understanding of consequences before the launch. A clearer understanding of consequences before the launch. I don't know why I'm messing my words up, but they're going into something and they don't even fully understand it. This goes to show you that the wisdom of these people is slipping. Just as quickly as it was announced, a controversial solar geoengineering experiment backed by Bill Gates has been postponed until 2022. Gates and other private donors are supporting Harvard University's solar geoengineering research program, which had planned to launch a new study based in Sweden in June, researching the efficacy of blocking sunlight from reaching Earth's surface. Stratospheric controlled perturbation experiment aimed to see how a tiny amount of aerosol in a trial would influence the immediate surroundings. But now Harvard is saying it's delaying the study to examine the impact on Sweden as well as the indigenous Sami people who live in the region. Geoengineering is a term for technologies that try to alter Earth's physical qualities on the largest scale possible. One example is cloud seeding, where airplanes flush clouds with particulate matter in order to coalesce into rain. Man, there we go. Like the book of Obadiah says, wanting to be like the Most High. Carbon capture, where emissions are taken and sequestered beneath Earth's surface, is another form of geoengineering. Scientists have devised multiple ways to block sunlight from reaching Earth's atmosphere for the surface. These are gathered under the umbrella term solar engineering. I'm not gonna read no more of this, but you know, the Earth is being destroyed right in front of our face, man, and pride has really taken these people. They don't even have a clue as to what they're doing. It's like they're just running amok, man. I'm gonna get some scriptures. All right. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 7, which let's start at 4. He is wise in heart. Who is he? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and mighty in strength. Who hath hardened himself against him, and who hath prospered? Okay, a lot of nations have hardened themselves, quite a few, and they've been destroyed. Okay, and have prospered, which is none of them. Okay, he's undefeated, and he's going to remain undefeated. Okay, which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and pillars thereof tremble, which commandeth the sun, and it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars. So he commands the sun to do the things that it do. And we're going to show the importance and significance of the sun. And a lot of the heavenly luminaries. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So these things were put in their proper order to do the things that they need to do, to give signs, seasons, and for years. And they do a lot more other things. And it's just funny how I was just thinking he wants to pretty much block out. He wanted to do this in June, which is like a month away. Now here it is, we in the middle of a pandemic, and if you think about some of the other attributes that the sun has, all right, the sun gives off vitamin D. Okay, benefits of vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D is sometimes called the sunshine vitamin because it produces in your skin in response to sunlight. It is a fast-soluble vitamin in a family of compounds that includes D1, D2, and D3. Your body produces vitamin D naturally when directly exposed to sunlight. You can also get it through certain foods and supplements to ensure the adequate levels of the vitamin in your blood. Vitamin D has several important functions. Perhaps the most vital are regulating the absorption of calcium as phosphorus and facilitating normal immune system function. Now think about it. We're in the middle of a pandemic where you need your immune system boost up to the best of your ability to try to fight off, just anything. But why would you do this now in the middle of a pandemic if you're trying to stop this pandemic from spreading? This right here is an attribute and a help to you. But you see the foolishness that's going on, and the high-mindedness, and it makes you think. You got to think along the lines. It's not hard to see of what other agendas that people have going on, and they're not beneficial. It's wicked. This is the first one. Vitamin D fights disease. In addition to primary benefits, research suggests that vitamin D may also play a role. Okay, and go down to this one. Helping to reduce the likelihood of developing the flu, and what the flu is like. What it's more similar to. Okay, I ain't even got to say it. Okay. Vitamin D reduces depression. Okay, vitamin D play an important role in regulating mood and warding off depression. Scientists found that people with depression who receive vitamin D supplements notice an improved symptom. Okay, and skipping down, researchers found vitamin D deficiency was more common in those who were also experiencing anxiety and depression. Okay, and when you go further down, okay, it says spending more time indoors, and people have spent a lot of time indoors during the pandemic. So, with all this anxiety and vitamin D, loss of vitamin D, which is another huge benefit, like I said, to the sun. You really don't think that these heavenly luminaries don't play a role, a big role, significant role in your health and in your life? The way that we live in now, life was never meant to be. Let's go more into this. Let's go into the history, because this man destroys everything that's pro-life. He definitely is the harbinger of death. When the Lord said He'll provoke you with a foolish nation, you can't even begin to try to see how this make any sense. This is Joshua 10, chapter 10 and verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. So Yahweh Shai allowed the sun to stay up, so that they could have more light to chase down and beat down their enemies. And, I don't know. Forgive me if I get this wrong, but I wanted to look up the word. Might be wrong. This is looking up the word son.
Strong's H 8121. Shemesh. Shemesh.
Okay, when you go down, okay, you see the outline biblical usage: sun, sunrise, sun, east, sunsetting, openly, publicly, pinnacles, battlements, shields as glittering or shining. Look up the word battlements. A parapet at the top of a wall, especially of a fort or a castle that has regularly spaced square openings for shooting through. Okay, so this is an instrument. Multiple uses, beneficial, but also can be a tool and a weapon. You know, the Most High doesn't waste nothing. Okay, we see the benefits of the things that were created. They were created for our benefit while we exist here. You know, I said some things just don't make no sense. You know, but with Esau Edom is never going to make any real sense. This is Sirach chapter 48 and verse 23. In his time, the son went backward, and he lifted the king's life. Okay. Another example he gave us as a sign to King Hezekiah. And King Hezekiah prayed. He was sick, and he repented, and he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord extended his life for 15 years. So the Lord used this as a sign to let him know that that his days will be lengthened on the earth. Let's go to 46. Just a few that I jot down, most of y'all know the history. Did not the sun go back by its means? It was not one day as long as two. He called upon the Most High Lord when the enemies pressed upon him on every side, and the great Lord heard him. And like I said, the Lord uses the heavens as a weapon, you know. So this man, anything that pertains to the Most High, he pretty much wants to control and destroy it, you know. Sirach chapter 43 and 6. He made the moon to serve in a season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Okay, for the moon is a sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The moon is called after her name, increasingly wonderful in her changing and being an instrument of the armies above. And that's the point that I want to get. It's the instrument of the armies above. Sun, the moon, and the stars. It is an instrument. Okay. And this is the last one. Psalm 38. Wait a minute. Forgive me. It's like I might have the wrong. Sirach, chapter 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. All right. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of them that made him. Fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents, and a sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Okay. They shall rejoice in his commandment. Okay, because he controls everything. Everything that's been made is made for him and by him. And they shall be ready upon the earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Okay. Like he said, his word will not return void. And you know, this is, this man, I don't know. I try not to even be surprised at anything that he does, because everything he does is just wickedness. I mean, that's just who he is. He's going to push his vibration on any and everything and anything that he can reach and put his hands on. It was another verse that I wanted to get in Revelations. Let's get it this way. I don't know it offhand. This is Revelation 16:9. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, which have power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. So the Lord can use this and that the sun is humongous. You know, I mean, nothing can come to it, too close to it because of the heat. But I think in the beginning of this, the angel pulls out a vial, and the Lord just commanded the sun to scorch these men with heat, So I just wanted to state the importance of it and how this man is just going to try to defile everything. But when you really think about it, this man is like a peon, a ant. It's like an ant trying to fight a giant, But I pray that you've been edified with this lesson. Shalom.